Welcome to Not Your Man Sports Podcast.
The podcast where I don't know why I just did one, where two long distance besties spill the tea on fantasy football, game day drama, and everything in between.
My name is Ashley,
And I'm Andrea.
and today we're going to be talking about draft strategy. So, Andrea, before we talk draft strategy, I think we have a few things to kind of yap about that is exciting in the fantasy world, or not even fantasy, in the football world.
In the football world, because it's preseason right now, which I think a lot of people, like half the people tune in and like half the people tune out. I don't know, just haven't tuned in yet because it's not like actual kickoff. But I am tuned in because the Bills are on Hard Knocks right now. And I love a good, info session like what is my team doing? Also, just the fact that they are the most wholesome content possible and that James Cook signed his deal. I'm like, our running back is back. Praise, praise. And he got paid whenever he actually smiled. I'm like, it's like he's one of those men that don't smile.
Yeah. So, he's feeling good, which is a good sign too for your team.
Exactly. Whenever I was watching it with my husband last night, uh he was like, "Oh, he's just wearing sunglasses." He's like, "Oh, I wonder if there's some animosity." He removes the sunglasses, he's crying. I'm like, he just got paid. He Of course he's a little emotional. And now all the other dudes like during the whole episode were like, he's like, "You look like you got money." You look like you got money now.
I'm not gonna lie, like I am such a baby. You know this, I'm a Cancer,
Mhm.
but I am such a baby. And when I see men cry, I like absolutely lose it. So whether it's like draft day or they're getting paid or they're having babies and getting married. Like I if they are tearing up and emotional, like I am absolutely like I will lose it. I'm a mess. I'm ugly crying with them.
We want to see an emotional side. We don't want to just see the.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have some layers. You're a little bit of an onion. We can peel you back. It's like
Yeah. Show
just
us.
release your sides of all the different sides of you.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. So, and like with that, speaking of babies, like the 49ers, I think all of them drank the Kool-Aid. Like, I don't know what was in their water, but I think everyone on the team had children in the off
And
season.
they all had them so recently, like Olivia Colpo, Jenna Purdy.
Yeah,
Everyone just got like knocked up over the off season. Or if you don't have a physical baby, you're Kristen Juszczyk and have a clothing baby.
which like we love as well because, and we should talk about clothing in a second because, okay. But
Bowman
yeah, she grew a baby, aka her career has really like
Grant.
taken off in like the past like 2 years, like at least one season in the public, but like the season before when she was making all of the clothes for the WAGs, and I was like,
Everyone.
girl, you look great.
The fact that you have people like Simone Biles, Taylor Swift reaching out to you for
Mhm.
like jackets and things like that. And then every single game she comes, like some that obviously she's a fashionista.
Yeah,
Like 49ers women are probably some of the best dressed
yeah,
wags.
yeah.
And I mean, aside from looking at players like and looking at stats, it's like I want to see what these women come to the games wearing
Yeah, I need
because
more of that, like how the WNBA does, like, or even like the NBA does their like outfit walk-ins. I need the WAGs doing an outfit walk-in. That would like make my day.
that would actually be so like and have this posted somewhere of like all of them coming in with their like amazing outfits, like so like I don't know, they probably have people that help style them, let's be real. But I mean, we obviously know Kristen makes all of her own clothes.
Yeah. And she is so stylish. And like honestly, these all these WAGs put their outfits on their Instagrams anyways. So let's like the 49ers should just kick this off because like you said, like their WAGs are iconic.
So
And I
iconic.
would love to see that. Like
A
49ers,
49ers wags account.
yes. Just post
Just
it.
focus, just focus in on them. And maybe all the other teams follow, do your own thing because obviously Chiefs are getting a lot of online. I love Taylor. Mahomes is not so much, but look.
Personal preferences.
Personal
Okay.
preferences. Personal preferences. It's fine. I'm not biased.
Yeah, you are.
Not biased. I cannot speak about teams like that, but every team, if you're gonna show up looking good, let's highlight you.
Yeah. And I think that like kind of like we talked about last week, so many women are interested now in football and watching the games. And I think this is like another layer of it. Like we want to know, we don't want to just see like dudes hitting each other, tackling each other, or whatever. We like want to know their lives. We want to see their behind the scenes, their families, their wives, their
Mhm.
children, like whatever. We want to like be in it with them. We want access to them in like in a not weird stalker way.
In a not weird stalker way, just like a good amount of like, show us what you wear, how you style it, put it together. We keep all your personal life hidden, not looking into that, but if you look cool, let's highlight you too, please.
Yeah,
And also teach me how to dress, please.
exactly. And so speaking of that, like we've talked about this a lot, but literally women's clothing, like when I go on, like I always try to buy like something every season. And when I go on like NFL shop or whatever, I have zero, and I'm a 6 foot tall woman, you guys. Like, I have zero options. I don't have options that look good on my body, on my frame. They're all uncomfortable. I feel like we have like the cap sleeves, which, like, again, that's not my body type.
Who
I
does
can't
the
do
cap sleeve look good on actually? Who actually does it look good on?
somebody, not us, but somebody, I'm sure. But
Because
like,
obviously we're the two demographics of you're 6 foot tall. I am 5'2". So you're like opposite ends, like cap sleeves.
yeah.
When was that big? Was that big in like the 90s where we had all I know is like my first communion dress was a cap sleeve. Those are the only times I actually remember like a cap sleeve,
Yeah, and it's terrible. And the other thing
right?
that they do is like this, like they kind of trim it into the waist. And like honestly, nobody come for me because I'm not like a fashionista. I don't know what these like terms are. I know what a cap sleeve is, okay, but I don't know what the term is for like the trimmed waist. But like they trim it at the waist so it kind of goes in and then like whoop. And I'm like,
It's
I
a
already
terrible
have
version
like
of a
a
corset.
bigger like booty. I don't need something like coming out being like "Brr," and like
A bird.
yeah, like so. Anyways, the NFL has statistically never made good clothes for women. And it's
Bedazzled. Why is everything bedazzled? It's like a limited two of the 2000s. Why is it all bedazzled? It makes me feel like men created this and they're like, we know what women want. Women want jewels.
more
I mean,
jewels.
yes, but
I mean, yeah, but like we want expensive ones. We don't want them on our shirt.
we don't we don't want the little like you glue it on like we did in like, the 99 of like, but that looks like limited two. It was like limited two with all the bedazzled names on it that
Yeah.
you wore in like middle school, elementary school.
Yeah. And then eventually, like some of them are popping off, and you're just like, cool,
Yes.
well, there goes half of my team's logo.
Only half is shiny. Like you have the Saints, and it's just like maybe the eyes standing out because it's like the eye, and then
Yeah. You're
like
like, see, like what? It's bad. So yeah, and then the V-necks, like I don't know. So usually I just buy like the men's clothes. Like I'll buy like last was it last? No, it was 2 years ago when I was visiting you in North Carolina. I bought like an oversized sweater. Okay. Okay.
we were going to the other one first. So
Okay,
that's
we'll
why I
talk.
started laughing.
Okay, Andrea's laughing because I statistically also get tricked into buying things on the internet from push ads, and then they end up being from like China. Like literally this one was from China and it came in like okay, I saw this ad and I was like I have to get it. It was a cute windbreaker for the Panthers,
Because
oversized.
windbreakers
I was
are
like,
cool, obviously.
yes, so cute. And I was like, I have to get this. It's oversized, like perfect, 6 feet tall. Let's do this. So I get this shipping notification and I'm like, well, Good. I definitely don't know what is coming. It arrives maybe like a day before I left for your wedding. And so I wash it. Like, first of all, I pull it out and I'm like, this is the size of a 3-year-old. Like, I do not know how I'm going to wear this. There's like strings hanging off of it. It's clearly not even the same Panthers blue. I was like, I'm still going to roll with it. I don't care. So, anyways, I pull it out, wash it, trim it up a
Yeah.
little, make it cute. And my husband and I went to the Panthers game after Andrea's wedding, like a couple days later. And before we left, the morning of, like, I like brought Andrea in, and it was literally like this oversized windbreaker was actually a crop top on me.
The windbreaker crop top
So it
in
was,
not Panthers blue. It was like some, I don't know, bright blue, just a weird blue.
yeah, it was like more Lions blue. It was not like Panthers blue. Um, anyways, I'll actually like we'll just drop a picture in for anyone watching the YouTube. There we go. That's it. It is not what I purchased, but now I'm not allowed to purchase things online that I don't know the store it's coming from.
Yeah, you must always know the store, but basically you're like for marketing and for my marketing job, you're like the perfect person you go for. Like we're targeting people like you. That's like we
Yeah.
want to buy things off of Instagram. Like you're the perfect audience.
And this isn't like the sad thing is like if this was the first time it happened, like we'd all be like, okay, I get it. This is not the first time it's happened.
See,
But again,
this is how
how many
desperate we're
clothes?
getting for good options where you're like at China push ads. That's what we have to resort to now.
I also think the price point should have tipped me off because I do think it's like,
Like a Shein price, where it's like $3.99 for like a wool sweater, and you're like, that's a great deal for a wool sweater. And then you get it, and
and
it's
then
just
it's like
like
the size
it's
of
a
a,
wool sweater for like a doll.
yeah, like a mouse. Like, okay. Yeah, saying that, like, I usually buy like the more of like the men's clothes. Like when I went to that game, I bought like an oversized sweater. My husband wore it at the game and then I just stole it after because duh. So I usually like
What's yours
shop
is theirs.
men's because the NFL shop is just so horrible. But I have seen like recently, like Abercrombie, not so much for the Panthers, but for sure for
For the
like the
Bills.
Bills, it has really, really
Bills,
cute ones.
Chiefs, Eagles, like they have some really nice like
Yeah.
sweatshirts because I know my sister has one. Just like over like kind of that old like vintagey because like that's what you want is like what is that vintagey type sweatshirt? Because I know when I personally buy clothes, I am very short. So the couple jerseys I have, because as I said, I have a Matt Milano jersey, it is a small. It comes down to my knees. So I like, how do I style this giant jersey? Like these jerseys are so big that even like my 6'1" husband can still wear like I think I have a medium in a jersey, which I have no idea why I would own a medium in a jersey. He can wear it. It's jersey on him. So I'm like swimming in this giant jersey. So I'm like, this doesn't look good on me. So
Yeah.
like, what do I have? I did get whenever Kristen Hughes first dropped her like the jackets, I did buy a puffer jacket because
And it's so cute.
it's so cute. Because one, it's so cute. And also I was gonna say because I live somewhere cold, but that would be a lie. I live in North Carolina. I have no idea when I'm gonna wear it. But it would maybe give an excuse for me to go back to New York, go back to Colorado. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. And it
It's
might
like I'd
work.
be warm.
Yeah. It
It's
might
so
be
cute.
cool one day.
Yeah,
So
North
anyway, this is
Carolina, come
us
on.
like asking, like begging more people to come up with women's lines that actually make sense. No bedazzling, no cap sleeves, none of that business.
Or
Like,
3/4 length sleeves. None of that either.
no, yeah, the weird because they're tight and awkward too. Like, I don't know, they fit weird.
What?
Make cool clothes for women because we want them.
We want them. Like if you were now the growing fan base, make clothes for us. Like, and don't make them V-neck. Don't make them baby doll tops. We don't need weird things. Just make normal clothes. How hard is it to make normal clothes?
Yeah.
Hire some women designers.
Yeah.
NC State has a great school that has like a whole like textile department. Hire some grads there. They probably know what they're doing.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be
Yeah.
like reinventing. It shouldn't be reinventing the wheel. Or like do the collabs like with Kristen or with
And
Abercrombie.
Kristen and what? The WNBA
Oh,
coming
she's
up.
doing the WNBA. Like great partnership. Like love that. So I'm just saying, like, there needs to be because I think Erin Andrews also had a line, and some of it was really cute, but then also some of it still fell under that umbrella of like the awkward fitting. Like, I also
Yes.
don't need any of those little tie things. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, there,
Yeah.
like, a lot of them have like the ties, and it's like a bow. Like, that's not my style. Like, I'm just a very simple person.
Just like a
So,
nice t-shirt,
yeah,
maybe a crop t-shirt. Like just what are some nice things that people would actually wear
yeah,
that
like,
aren't eight?
yeah. I grew out of the limited too.
I know.
Like when
I'm
I
sure it's gonna come back though. It's gonna like haunt us and like come back.
everything has a cycle. I mean, Hollister's back, so why not the limited too?
I mean, Abercrombie did a complete rebrand, and all of a sudden I'm buying their clothes again. Now all of a sudden Hollister's back. I'm like, forgot about Hollister. Anyways,
Today, let's talk. So there are a couple different type of leagues, and I think the different leagues depends on how you'll draft. So there are pretty much like two basic type of leagues. One is a keeper league slash dynasty league. We have one of those leagues. And the second is more of a redraft league where every single year, even if you don't have the same people in the league, or if you do, you're getting a whole new team. You are like drafting fresh, you get a whole fresh perspective. We actually are going to have also one of those leagues this year too.
we
Um,
love a good league. And that's the one that everyone's probably the most familiar with. So whenever you sign up with like groups or work, like that's the type of league that most people do. If you like want to get into being like more of a hardo, that's where it comes into like the keeper, the dynasty, or the weird rule ones with like weird flexes and quarterbacks. But like you don't have to worry about those. Like the normal drafting redraft league is the typical one.
I would say like a redraft league is like the typical most common one, but it's for sure like the one that everyone probably starts at unless like you get brought into like a two quarterback league or like a whatever. Um, but usually I feel like the just so when we talk today, we're going to be mostly talking towards like if you have a redraft league because for example, in our keeper league, like our draft is this upcoming weekend or I guess when you guys listen to us, it'll be last
Yes,
weekend, but
yes.
and it's basically like we call it a rookie draft because we have I think five draft picks, right? Is it five?
Some people do. Yeah, some people do. I might have traded away most of my picks.
Some people traded away their picks, but we have like a handful of draft picks, and then really the only people who are left are either like the not so great people or like the rookies who just got drafted. And so it's a lot different. So we're not going to cover that. We're going to, the tips that we give for drafting today are going to be along the lines of a redraft league
Mhm.
because that's probably what most people listening to this are doing. Um, so saying that, Andrea and I both came up with our top three tips, and actually, like a lot of ours were overlapping, so we kind of divvied them up. So Andrea, what is your first tip for the people, for the ladies, when
For
it
the
comes to
people.
a redraft league?
Yeah. So I think my first biggest tip is I love a good wide receiver. So if possible, in my first pick, unless you're like randomly like face to face with like a Gibbs, would be to get a wide receiver because they're in theory going to give you the most amount of points due to touchdowns, like receptions, breakaway runs. Like they're going to give you the most points in theory. They have the highest ceiling.
Yeah.
Ashley, what's your first one?
Mine is also along that because that is what I do as well in my redraft leagues is like a wide receiver or a running back. But specifically, go for the best available players within the first couple of rounds. Like, don't get cute, don't get fancy. And depending on who you guys are using for drafts, it will tell you like a list of like best available. So go through that and know like if you already have like two running backs or two wide receivers, make sure you're getting like the running back or like make sure you're not just stacking one position with the best available. But really focus on that best available for your like first picks.
And piggybacking off of that, make sure as you pick the best available, there's always this little, especially if it's on the ESPN the sleeper, there's a little like box next to them where like if they've been flagged for an injury, take a look at that. Look at that. Because if there are things like turf toe or like what, I slipped a disc in my back, like you might want to avoid them. They might not play. Because I remember like things from like Christian McCaffrey last year. So many people drafted him, but he had like what, tendonitis. So many people drafted him at one number one. They're like, yes, he had like a 55-point game the year before, which he's on my team. And yes, he did. And it was great. But he played for like a half a game, of course, against Buffalo, and then injured his other leg.
Yeah.
So keep it in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. All right, give me your number two.
Number two, build bench depth. Like
Mhm.
always look to build onto your bench. So yes, you might have all your wide receivers, all your running backs. You don't need to fill out your full team first. You can build your bench, like continue to take those wide receivers, those running backs. That way, if someone gets injured right away, you want to be able to have a good person on your bench, just bring back up to the top and still hopefully have like not too much of a drop off in points. So always build that bench.
Yes. And with that, my number two is also notice your bye weeks. So you don't want all of your receivers to be out on week 7. So make sure that you're like staggering some of these. So like, yes, everyone's going to have a bye week, right? But we don't want your whole starting lineup or a lot of like one position to be all out on the same week because then you're screwed and then you're dropping players and adding players and maybe it's like you have to drop somebody that you really really like and you want to have in your pocket and that just honestly wrecks the whole vibe, I think. Mid-season, that's like a
We're
heartbreak.
like, no. It's like you don't want to drop like some of your best people or people who are good just to make room for like a questionable person. Like, so as you draft, it's like, oh God, imagine just like having the most mid person that you like are forced to put in and drop someone that you really like. It's like at that point, may as well just forsake that position for the week. But you're smart. You are going to draft more equally and keep an eye on those bye weeks. So I guess my third one is really balance between rookies and vets. So historically, whenever you rookie running backs start, rookie running backs will get up to speed significantly faster than rookie wide receivers. So if you were to draft a rookie wide receiver, he might not do much for the first couple weeks. He might come in for a couple plays. Maybe if he's lucky, he'll get a touchdown. But typically and historically, they take longer to ramp up. So if you were to draft a rookie, usually the best bet is to get more of a rookie running back over a wide receiver. I'm not saying don't draft them, but if you do, like, don't be surprised if your wide receiver doesn't pop off until like week 13.
Yeah. Um, Feeding off of that, the year that Kareem Hunt was a rookie, I had him in one of my leagues and I think they played Thursday
Yeah.
night football because I was
Yeah.
working
There's
at.
a there's opening game.
Yeah, and he had a fumble. And so I like started the week at like a negative something and I was like, dude, F this rookie, like this sucks. Like I knew I shouldn't have picked him, blah blah blah. And then he ended up having like the best game like ever. Like I think he had like 20 plus points and I was like, oh, okay. Like
Nick had him at
overreaction.
that same year because Nick was so we were like going out to like watch the game somewhere, and Nick was so mad as we were in the car. He was like, "There was a fumble." He's like, "Oh my God, my whole game is ruined." And then by the end of the night, he had like 28 points, and Nick was just like over here, like just super happy.
Yeah, that
Beanie's
was
like
me too. So, um,
same vibe.
okay, my number three is take your defense and your kickers towards the end. And the reason being is most likely they're not going to give you like the most points. And personally, in a redraft league, like a lot of people aren't going to be hoarding the defenses. And if they are, like, you got to kind of wonder about like their strategy. But in a redraft league, like to play week to week with my defense. So with that, if I know like this team is going against this team who has like a really, really good offensive lineup. Nope, I'm dropping that defense. I'm getting somebody else. So you can play this like unless you have like the best defense in the league or like one of the top defense in the league, I would play week to week defense. So don't use your early drafts for a defense. And same thing with kickers. There's a couple kickers in the league who will have higher points than the majority of the kickers. But it's not really worth like spending your early draft picks on kickers because like it's just they're not gonna be like, well, I was gonna say they're not gonna be what makes or breaks your week. Well, they might be, but they're not gonna be like the high scoring like position, I guess, like
No.
between like a wide receiver or a running back or even a quarterback. So
Like build that bench depth before your go back and forth for your defense and kicker. So Ashley, putting you on the spot, do you have a team that you've already like signaled as like this is my team that anyone that has is playing that team that plays against this team, that's the defense that I'm gonna get? Or have you or you're still like trying to keep it secret for a little bit longer?
I'm still trying to keep it secret specifically with
Okay.
you because I am trying, like, I think on our keeper league, which I know is not the redraft league, but I think on our keeper league, I dropped one of my defense and I have another one that I'm keeping. But I don't know if I'm going to drop them and I don't know if, like, how I'm going to, like, play that out. I am, and I've watched a couple preseason games or like halves of preseason games, but I'm not somebody who watches a lot of preseason games. Um,
And it's so
it just
hard
doesn't.
because like a lot of the preseason guys playing are people trying to make the roster because there's a 54-man roster. So these are people who are like putting it all out on the line to be like, let me be a part of this team. Let me show you what I can do. So a lot of the people might not be in it. And the starters are not going to play
Mm-mm.
for the
So
most part.
yeah, and I think it's like it's good to see like the depth of a bench or like who makes
Yeah.
the team versus not, but it's hard because like every year is different. And so you might have like last year, like the number one like defense team might not look anything like that this year. So right now I don't have a strategy for our keeper league with defense. I'm still formulating that like year five or whatever for or four for us in our keeper league.
Mhm.
I used to have a strategy for kickers, and that has gone out the window with a lot of things that we will not be talking about on this podcast. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's
No,
interesting.
no, I thought I'd ask.
Interesting. But I do try to, for redraft leagues, I just try to play week by week. So I'll look at
Yeah.
that first maybe week or two of who a certain defense or a certain team is playing, and I'll pick them. Um, so, and then obviously I play the waiver with my defense.
Waivers for defenses are the best possible bet,
Yeah,
truly.
yeah. So no, but yes, like I, I don't know who I love this year. I'll just be honest. I don't know who I love for
Okay, I
defense
mean,
yet.
we'll have some time.
Yeah.
We'll
TBD
still
on the
have time.
defense.
TBD, more to come. More to come. Stay tuned.
Listen, as long as
All right,
my defense isn't getting negatives, like we're good.
that's all that matters. Just need at least 10 points, please.
Please just break even
So
for me.
now, what is your weird rule for drafting? Because this is
Okay,
where it gets
so
fun.
my weird rule is that I do not draft Panthers players. Period. End of story. I will not draft. Your husband actually texted me last week and was like, "Are you going to draft the rookie?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Absolutely not." But the reason I don't draft Panthers players is because they break my heart over and over again, and I don't need my fantasy team also adding salt to my wound of the team of my heart. And even when the Panthers were good, that was still my rule. Like I don't want to lose twice because the Panthers lost. And then I had a player starting who also lost. So if I can help it, I do not draft Panthers players. I do think there was like a brief moment last season that I had one Panthers player on my roster for like 2 games, but then like immediately was like, okay, he's got to go because I can't do this. So yeah, no Panthers players for me. And my husband actually does that too with the Broncos players, which is funny that we do the same thing.
You're
We're just
like, can't touch our team when I'm over here being like, Josh Allen, come to my team.
yeah.
James Cook, come to my team.
Come to me. So
Come to my team.
what is your weird rule?
My weird rule is in my first three picks, I always like to have a wide receiver, a running back, and a quarterback because I am determined to have one of the best quarterbacks because, yes, sometimes, you can make a case that says like someone that you draft a quarterback in like the 12th round is going to be, I'm sorry, Dak Prescott is not as good as Josh Allen. Like I stand by that, or Jalen Hurts, or Washington's quarterback. Like these are better quarterbacks. So yes, Dak is a good fantasy quarterback, but I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know. It's not the same, and I want to go for like highest possible points. Like I don't have a rule of like here's exactly when you have to do here, but like that's how I like to like start my team, and I'm like weird about this must be the start of my team,
But
and then
I
go
get
from there.
that too because also like for example, Dak Prescott. And I know it's like everyone's favorite hobby to like bash on the Cowboys or whatever, but he doesn't have like the greatest team around him. So you have to like look at not it's not just the quarterback. It's like who are his wide receivers? Because if he passes that ball and that wide receiver gets a touchdown, your quarterback's also getting that touchdown
Yeah,
in most leagues of how they're set up.
yeah.
But if he like if they have a really strong like running back um position and that's where most of their touchdowns come in, you're probably not going to get a ton of points from your quarterback because they're just like handing it off
Handing off that ball.
likely.
Yeah.
And so you're
So
not getting those yards or touchdowns that running back is. So there's also those ins and outs with like a quarterback that you have to be smart. And if you can get somebody like a Josh Allen or like for me, like Jalen Hurts is like that's my bae. Like I love him. He's on our keeper league.
that's why I name draft him because I'm like, these are quarterbacks.
Ugh, you know I love him. And he literally shows up almost every week for me and brings me a ton of points just because he does have a stacked lineup around him too. So
Yes.
yeah. So it's
Always.
kind of iffy. And things like Patrick Mahomes, like he will get you points, but then also you have to look at the Chiefs because they have wide receivers and running back. They are stacked in other places. So is he going to be have a game where he is just handing off or is he having a game where he's passing? You got to kind of like
Yeah.
consider that too when they have a
And
lot
there's a
of
very big and there's a very big difference between a really good quarterback IRL and then a good fantasy quarterback
yes.
because Dak Prescott, you know, maybe not, depending on who you are. Um, he could also need more weapons. Like it was like what's the nicest way to possibly say it? But he's great. He's a good fantasy option. Like he will constantly get you points.
Yeah. But then on paper,
Like
like in real life, you're like, oh,
like you have CD Lamb. Like
yeah,
you
what's going
should be doing more.
Yeah, so what's going on here? So I think that's a really good way to look at it too. I usually pick my quarterback slightly later. But I will
Mm.
say like one thing I notice in a lot of redraft leagues is when you see one really good quarterback go, like a lot of people panic and like start like picking quarterbacks.
The
So it
run of the quarterbacks.
yeah, it might be worth like pick that quarterback if people start panicking so you don't end up with like somebody you're like I don't know who that is. Like, are they good? So, yeah. So,
Yeah,
also
it would be like the
redraft.
Saints quarterback, which I don't even know who the Saints starting quarterback is right now.
Well, do the Saints even know? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
like the Hawks. Oh no, not the Hawks. Oh my God, why did I say the Hawks? Falcons. Atlanta's just a bunch of birds.
The Atlanta Birds.
The Atlanta Birds. If you were a bird, they will be your mascot.
They're the perfect people for the shorts that go like that.
Oh, that's their shirt icon. It's the bird.
So we found it. We figured out why their shirts. It's for the Atlanta Birds.
The Atlanta Birds. Love it.
Another thing, I guess, that is good to point out is some leagues have tight ends and some do not. I know we didn't talk a lot about tight ends in this episode because it's really depending on how your league is set up. I know in a lot of redraft leagues there are like you will have a tight end position. That's another one where it's going to be hit or miss if they give you a lot of points um, or not. So I wouldn't be prioritizing them over like a top running back or wide receiver or quarterback even.
And honestly, like I don't know if there's a ton of tight ends that are like amazing because like a couple years ago it was like Travis Kelsey was like he basically was a wide receiver, like top notch.
Mhm.
And then there was like a couple other really good ones over the last few years, but last year there wasn't any that really like stood out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good point too, because every season's different. And so
Hmm.
some seasons it may be like a really good like wide receiver season, and some seasons it may be like a really good running back season. And I know personally this is where I'm running into a lot of issues with my keeper team is like how it ebbs and flows is like, I think last year, what was it last year? Like all of us were really struggling to get like a running back. Like,
Yeah, it was like all of us were down running backs. Running backs were injured. So many running backs were injured. But
yeah,
then it's like there's weird, it's an ebb and flow of positions, it's an ebb and flow of players. And like there's no set rule of just because this guy had the greatest season last year doesn't mean it will duplicate the following year.
yeah. Like just don't do it. So,
No,
um, yeah. Are there any rookies that you like? I know this isn't like in the show notes, but are there any rookies that you're excited for?
I'll tell you next week.
Okay.
Post rookie draft.
That means that she doesn't want to. This is me trying to sneakily be like, so who are you drafting?
Post rookie draft, more to come.
Fine. Well, I know who your husband's drafting first. I think all of us probably.
Everyone knows who my husband's drafting.
So, so TBD. Also the cool thing with a lot of redraft leagues is you will get a score, like an A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. Or I guess there's not an E. What, but
Just what imagine getting an E in school all of a sudden, like it's like, yeah, why did they skip E?
I don't
Whole
know.
nother thing.
Yeah, whatever. We'll revisit that another day. But um yeah, so and it's kind of cool to see like where you stack up at the beginning of the season based on like what they give you versus like the end of the season. So if you guys do draft this upcoming weekend or if you've already drafted, let us know your score if you do have a league that does that because that would be
And
fun.
also, I'm going to call out if you get a low score, it doesn't mean your season is over. Like, you can one, add and drop people, or two, you might just be ahead of the curve compared to what ESPN does. Because Yahoo, I always got like C's and D's in Yahoo, and I've like won that league, my old work league, a couple times, or came in like top three. So it's not the end all be all. It's just based on whatever, I guess now AI they have in place because everything's AI.
Everything is. Yeah.
Everything is AI.
Honestly, don't take your score too heavily. It's just kind of fun.
No,
Don't take it
it's just
serious.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
also
for
fun
fun.
to see where you finish compared to where they like said your team is because I know a lot of people who have A plus teams that end up like very bottom of the pack and it's not like that sucks for
Yeah,
them. So I don't know.
like you started off strong,
Yeah. So
finish strong.
so that is all we have for you today on our draft episode. So please subscribe, follow, share this with any of your girlfriends or even like members in your league that you think would love us, or not, whatever. But we would really appreciate you.
And here's no auto drafts this year. Bye, guys.
Bye.